Hi, my name is Aston, and I would like to discuss today as to why I have a trach. What happened? Well, I'm a mom of three, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and an 18-year-old. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in a town called Oak Point, Texas. And a few months ago, I was diagnosed with Myasthenia Gravis. I didn't know much about Myasthenia Gravis. I've been researching Myasthenia Gravis. I, for the longest time, didn't believe that I had Myasthenia Gravis. However, it all started when I went to the dentist in July of 2024. I went for a simple gingivectomy because half of the gums on my in my mouth had receded. So I wanted to even everything out, so I went to the dentist, and then they told me that the procedure was simple. It would only take 20 minutes, and they said I could return to work on Monday. I went on a Saturday. Well, after the procedure was done, my mouth just kept filling up with blood. It just kept filling up with blood to the point where I couldn't hardly sleep. I just kept changing out the gauzes. I couldn't go to work on Monday like they claimed that I could go to work on Monday. And I went to work on Tuesday. Then about 2 weeks later in August, I just started having a nasty cough, feeling real fatigued and tired. I went to the doctor because I had to call out of work, and I wanted a doctor's note to prove that I went to the doctor. They claimed I had pneumonia. They gave me antibiotics. A few weeks later, I still was feeling sick. I didn't feel any relief. So I went to another doctor. They sent me to Frisco to get a x-ray of my lungs. I called, asked for the result. They said they saw something on my lungs, so I was just scared. I went to the ER on my own. My breathing on room air was in the 70s, so they admitted me to the hospital. I'm sorry. They admitted me to the hospital. They did a CT scan where they put an IV in you, and they put the iodine in you so then they could see what's going on. They said that my lungs, the lower lobes, were collapsing. They admitted me to the hospital. They gave me antibiotics through the IV for a few days, and then they let me go home. So then I went back to work. They also gave me some inhalers and some antibiotics to take at home. I did it for like a month. Then I have found the new primary care doctor because I didn't like the way that I was treated at the one that I went to in August. They put the little pulse oximeter on my finger. It was reading in the 70s, so she wouldn't even finish the first appointment that I had with her. She just sent me to the ER. I went. My breathing again on room air was in the 70s, so they admitted me to the hospital. They gave me antibiotics over the course of days again. Had me speak with a pulmonologist. Then they sent me home. So then I went back to work. I kept trying to go through it. But I still kept feeling tired, still kept feeling sick and everything. So come October, I just couldn't take it anymore because I was feeling sick. I wasn't feeling any relief. I took the medicine and did everything they told me to do. Went back to the ER. This time, just let me in there for weeks. They gave me the strongest of the strong antibiotics through my IV. And they did a bronchoscopy on me. and they ended up having to intubate me. Then I was able to come off the intubation. They kept me, because I was in the ICU for a day, and then they sent me back down to the regular, I guess, hospital, or, and then, because I was in there for like a few weeks, and then they let me go. In November 2024, I actually woke up and felt like that I was going to die because I couldn't breathe. My 18-year-old, well, he was 17 at the time, he was here, and he heard me struggling for breath. He was scared, so he called 911. The ambulance came. Breathing was still in 70s on room air. So they rushed me to the ER again. As soon as I got to the ER, they took me to the back, did the bronchoscopy on me. They said I was struggling, like I was going to die, so they intubated me. So I woke up with intubated. They had my arms and stuff strapped down to the bed. That time I was intubated on a ventilator for a few days. Couldn't eat, couldn't drink. Was miserable. Was in there for, it was over 2 weeks, because I ended up spending Thanksgiving in the hospital. I was in the ICU for a few days that time, and then they put me in a regular hospital. In that time, they sent me on with a BiPAP. I also had to be on oxygen, had to carry around an oxygen tank. Everywhere I went, I had to recharge oxygen and stuff to be in the house and go out in public. So it just got to the point I just felt depressed. I didn't even want to go out in public and stuff no more because I'm young, on oxygen, couldn't even walk far, didn't know what was wrong with me. So, and that appointment, they wouldn't even let me leave the hospital until I got a BiPAP machine, because they said that my body kept collecting carbon dioxide and it wouldn't release it. So that was part of what was making me sick. But they didn't know what all was making me sick. So I went home, and then a BiPAP machine came, and within 24 hours of being on that BiPAP machine, the ambulance had to come get me again, had to go back to the hospital. So that time, that's when they said I had Myasthenia Gravis, but they didn't give me no proof as to why I had Myasthenia Gravis or anything. They just claimed I had it. They put me on IVIG. That wasn't really working because I didn't think that I had Myasthenia Gravis because I was very fatigued. I couldn't breathe. I had a lot of numbness and tingling in my legs and my arms and my feet and my hands. I had real bad migraine headaches, even though I already had bad migraine headaches, but just had really, really bad migraine headaches, but was really struggling to breathe. So went to the hospital, was in there for like a week, did the IVIG, got out, came home. I didn't feel any changes or anything from the IVIG. I know when Christmas came, I couldn't cook, I couldn't do nothing. So my brother, I had to call him to come down here. My brother lives in Michigan. I live down here in Texas. And I just didn't feel right. It just felt like that I was going to freaking die. So my brother, he wanted to go to the Grapevine mall when he came down here. So we went. And I remember it being so bad. And I felt so embarrassed because my brother, he had to go rent one of the things that you drive on, and you could put the babies in the back and you drive around the mall and don't have to put the baby in a stroller or whatever. So he had to rent one of them, had to put me in the back of it and drive me around because I couldn't walk. Walking from the parking lot to the inside of the mall made me feel like I was going to pass out. So I had to sit on that. And I just felt embarrassed. And then the next day, we went to this seafood boil. And after that seafood boil, just that little walk from the parking lot to inside the place took every bit of energy out of me. And then walking back from the place to my car, and I parked my car right in front of the place, took everything out of me. So we went home. I took a nap around 3. And I just felt terrible. And my brother kept asking me, you want me to take you to the hospital? You want me to take you to the hospital? And I was like, no. Because at that point, I just felt like the hospitals didn't know what the hell they was doing. So I just felt like they just kept prescribing me all kind of medicines, kept prescribing me all kind of inhalers, prescribed me a BiPAP machine, claimed that I had Myasthenia Gravis. But they didn't give me no proof as to blood work or anything as to why they say that I have Myasthenia Gravis. They just said that I have Myasthenia Gravis. So I just, I don't know, I just didn't want to go back. But then I kept trying to take a nap, but then I was just in so much pain, I couldn't take a nap. So at about 11 o'clock p.m., I just told my brother, hey, I can't take it no more, but I don't want the ambulance to come, because if the ambulance come, they're only going to take me to Medical City, Denton or Frisco. And I didn't want to go to no Medical City, nothing, because I don't know. I'm not talking bad about Medical City because I don't want to get sued or nothing by them for slandering them or anything, but I just don't feel like them hospitals are it. So, So I just was telling my brother to drive me to this hospital and another one, and I think Frisco or Plano. But by the time he started driving, I just felt terrible, and I just said, we ain't making it to that hospital, because that was like a 30 to 45-minute drive from where I live. So I just said, you know what? I always see this hospital off the Dallas North Tollway. So I said, let's try that hospital. So we went to Texas Health Frisco and went there. Breathing was still 70-something on room air. So they put me on a real strong BiPAP machine. And then when they saw my medical records said that I had Myasthenia Gravis, they transferred me to another hospital. And there, they just immediately started, they had to take me to the OR to put this port in my neck. Yeah, you can kind of see the little scar. But put the port in my neck to my heart. And they had to start doing plasmapheresis. So they did 5 of them. That was on December 29th, December 30th of 2024. My brother had to go back home, so my daddy had came down to help me and help the kids. And I ended up getting out the hospital on my oldest son, 18th birthday. So Did my plasmapheresis. When I got to the hospital, it was a snowstorm. But hey, they had an Uber person come and he took me home, and I was able to enjoy my son's 18th birthday with him. From there, January I was okay, but I still was having problems with the breathing, so I started seeing a neurologist to begin the treatment to manage myasthenia gravis. So I was put on Myasthenia 60 milligrams 3 times a day. That medicine kind of strong. I tell you, if you got problems with constipation, you won't have problems with constipation no more, because that medicine gonna clear you out. Gonna make your stomach hurt and all type of stuff. And it didn't really do nothing for me. So in February, I went to the doctor, started managing the myasthenia gravis. Told him that I was still having a problem breathing. Like, if I walk up 4 baby steps, it'll feel like I was gonna die. Up 4 steps. I could walk down steps, but walking up steps, walking up anything, hitting anything, I felt like I was gonna die. So, doctor was like, we gonna put you on prednisone. So he put me on prednisone, put me on like a higher dosage of prednisone. Did that starting in February 2025. I'm going through life. I was finally taking off the oxygen, thank God, so I ain't have to go to work no more and stuff. Embarrassed with wearing a freaking oxygen cannula, going to work, having people staring at me like I was crazy. Probably wondering why I was wearing that. But of course they didn't ask why. People were just staring. But tried to thug it out. kept going to work. But despite of taking that prednisone, still could not freaking breathe. But I just I'm a person that I don't know, I take my job seriously. I don't like to feel like I'm abusing leave or like leaving extra work on my coworkers. So unless if I go on a vacation with the family or something, I ain't taking no time off of work. So for me to be in the hospital, that's the only time that I'm taking off of work. Or if somebody die in my family, I'm not just go take off of work, because I don't know. Some people don't care. Some people feel like they gonna live life because they go die and they ain't gonna be able to enjoy the leave, but I don't know. I just don't do that, so. And it feels embarrassing to me when I'm in the hospital and stuff, but whatever. Life went on, kept taking the medications. I kept trying to do what I had to do. I still felt sick and stuff, but I ain't tell nobody because I don't like to feel like I'm complaining and stuff. I just went to work, did what I had to do. And then when I went home, I just laid down up in the bed, put on the BiPAP machine. BiPAP machine started making me feel like that I could breathe, but the BiPAP machine is a mess, so I can't get up and do dishes. I can't get up and go to the store and do stuff with the BiPAP. You only could lay down with it. So it was basically, I was going to work, doing my job, coming home, getting up in the shower, and laying down, get on the BiPAP. I ain't even had the strength to cook food. So during that time, my kids don't have to DoorDash a lot of food. And my older 2 kids, they work they were working after school, so they had their license, but they were scared to drive, so they would just catch an Uber to work. and catch an Uber home because they knew that I was sick and stuff. So I just thugged it out from January into I ended up getting a cold in April, or AKA the rhinovirus. Started having a deep cough, and it got to the point where I felt like I was gonna die, like I couldn't get no air in. So I went to the Texas Health Frisco, and I didn't want to I don't know, I just thought that maybe they could give me some kind of breathing treatment or do something, so then I could go home. I didn't want to spend time in the hospital anymore. But as soon as they saw my medical records and they saw that Myasthenia Gravis, they sent me over to a bigger hospital. And again, was in there for 10 days. Had to go to the OR, get the port put in my neck again, and start the plasmapheresis treatment. And with the plasmapheresis treatment, if you know about dialysis or somebody with sickle cell, they basically take your blood, they clean it, but in this case, they take the harmful antibodies out of your blood. They clean it. You may have to get a blood transfusion. You may have to get some albumin put in to replace what they took out. But you do that one day on, then the next day you get a break. The next day they do it again. The day after that you get a break, and they go on for a 10-day period. I was in the ICU. The first day they did it, everything went fine. Then they put me in a regular hospital with everybody else. I don't know what happened that second treatment. I had a reaction for something. All I just know that I got hot. I started throwing up, and I started taking my clothes off because I just felt real hot and like I was gonna faint and like nothing. I don't know what happened that second treatment. But all I just know, they ended up having to put me back in the ICU again. And then they had to give me antibiotics and stuff because I was sick. I did another treatment. Then they felt like I didn't need to be in the ICU anymore. So then they put me in a regular hospital. And then I did what I had to do. Then I went home for about a week or so. After the plasmapheresis that time, that was in April of 2025. I felt okay, and then I wanted to move up at my job, so I asked my boss, can I do any details or something so that I could try to move up at my job. He was like, yeah, but what about your kids? What about your illness? And I was going by what the doctors said at the hospital. I told them I was fine because they told me that I should be all right. And at this time, my kids were 16, 17, and 18 years old. So I felt, why not try to do it now since my kids are almost grown when I'm out grown. So I agreed to go in detail. I was happy and stuff. My son, he graduated in May. That graduation day, I felt like I was getting sick again. Graduation day, my whole family came from out of town, out of state and stuff. And I'm having a nice time with my family. I'm real happy because my oldest son, I'm proud of him. He worked. He a good boy. He was graduating from school, and I'm a single parent, and I raised him on my own, so I'm happy. that graduation was at UNT. You had to walk up all them steps to sit down. And I feel like that got me because I booked a big graduation dinner for him at Papa Do's. By the time we got to Papa Do's, the dinner was at, I think, at 7 p.m. My body was just done. It took every piece of strength for me to walk into that restaurant. And I couldn't do nothing but put my head on the table because I ain't had no energy. I ordered food, couldn't eat the food. I just felt terrible. The managers of the restaurant kept coming out there asking me if everything was all right. And I was like, I'm good, I'm okay. I had to have my brother drive me home because I was sick. So that was on May 17th. May 19th, I started the detail. For the first few days, everything was fine. And then I don't know if it was because of dust in that building or what. But I started developing this big, deep cough again. You have to walk up 4 baby steps to get in the building. That started killing me. But I wasn't about to let my manager know or whatever. I just tried to thug it out and just kept trying to work. Then it got to a point one day I had to call out of work because I just felt so weak I couldn't get up. And then on June 10th, 2025, I guess my body just said that it couldn't do it no more. So, let me stop laughing because it ain't funny. I tried to drive to work. Got on the Dallas North Tollway. Surprised I ain't get pulled over by no police because I know I was weaving in and out of lanes trying to get to work. Got off on Spring Creek Parkway and tried to drive to work in Plano and I just couldn't do it no more. So I pulled over in the first little strip mall that came up and I had to text my boss and I told him I couldn't make it. So and I was going to the hospital. I don't know how I made it to Texas Health Frisco, but I made it there. Got up in there again, breathing on room air, in the 70s. My oxygen in the 70%. So the doctor was like, I'm going through a Myasthenic Crisis. I got mad. I snapped at him, told him that I'm tired of them telling me that I got Myasthenia Gravis when ain't nobody tell me. Like, nobody showed me no blood work or nothing. It just seemed like out of thin air, somebody that said I got Myasthenia Gravis. And I told them, y'all keep giving me all these treatments. Y'all keep sending me to all these hospitals. I've been sick for almost a year. I ain't getting better. It got to be something else. So he started this, well, can you just let us voluntarily intubate you? And I said no, because I already been intubated twice. And what is getting intubated again gonna do if ain't nobody gonna find out what's going on for real? So they had me on this strong BiPAP, and still wasn't getting no better. So they just told me that they gonna have to send me to a bigger hospital. So they sent me to Texas Health Dallas. Went there. They got me on that strong BiPAP. That doctor came up in there talking about you probably gonna die by the end of tonight. And I'm like, what? And I ain't crying nothing, but I'm trying to process how I get from being sick to y'all telling me that I'm gonna probably die in the middle of the night. And then they talking about if you let us voluntarily intubate you, you only be on a ventilator for 48 hours. And then after that, we could take you off and we could tell you what's really wrong with you. And I was like, no, I said, I'm not getting intubated no more. So they was like, you gonna pass away. You gonna pass away if you don't let us medically intubate you. And I mean, I couldn't cry or nothing. I was more mad. So I don't know. I just got mad, and then they started sending the chaplains in there to talk to me. He started giving me pamphlets of palliative care, and I don't know. I couldn't cry. I was just angry.